You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shanna Register, and if you've got a real estate question, give us a call, 844-788-9444. We'd love to answer your real estate questions right here on the air every Sunday between 11 and noon, 844-788-9444. And of course, you can go on the website at houstonrealestateradio.com and see over 4 years worth of video archives of all kinds of different subjects in beautiful HD. So if we're not covering the subject you want today, you can probably find it over there at houstonrealestateradio.com. Today's segment, we are talking about the economy, and there's just no better economist that I've had on the show than Dr. Jim Gaines. Always gives us great updates on what's going on with our economy here in Houston at the state level and even a nationwide perspective. And he's always my go-to guy. Every quarter, I want to hear what's going on because he is part of the Real Estate Research Center out at Texas A&M University, and they give us great information. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
So I hope you have some good news for us today. For the good folks sitting at home listening.
For the good folks sitting at home and they're in front of me on the camera. The news is for Houston is not as bad as a lot of people thought it was going to be. It's obviously not as good as it was a couple of years ago or even last year, because we are filtering through the whole process of the downturn in the energy market and so forth. That's a 2 or 3 year process.
Well,
our research, and we're just only about a year and a half into it.
So it's really only bad if you're the one being laid off.
It's always bad.
But what I'm hearing from a lot of people, a lot of my friends are saying, my daughter-in-law's husband works here and they're worried about this. And my mother-in-law works over here and she's worried, all these people. I'm hearing all these, everybody's worried because they've seen the layoffs and they're just
you're hitting the right topic. It's attitude, being uncertain about your job, even if you still have your job,
right,
and haven't been laid off, but you're worried about it. You don't know when the axe is going to fall or if it's going to fall,
right.
And as a consequence, people who are in that kind of situation, what do you tend to do economically?
Save your money.
You don't do anything.
Yeah.
You don't spend a whole lot. You don't go out and buy stuff. Maybe you don't buy the house or sell the house you're in.
You just stay
and see how it's all going to play out.
Yeah.
Now, Houston, we've had our share of some layoffs, reductions in force. We think the immediate wave of that is pretty much happened.
Good.
The direct employment, the people directly involved in the decline in the number of oil rigs, in the services businesses, the Schlumbergers, the Halliburtons, et cetera. That first wave is gone through and that's done. But that's not going to be the only wave, unfortunately. And now where it is beginning to show up is also in the white collar arena, the business services and some others that are affiliated or derive a good bit of their business from the energy sector. Those folks are now getting nervous because that business has fallen off. The construction over on the east side, the downstream construction down in the Bay Area is still going on. That's the reason why, at least for this year, maybe on into 17 before those projects really start getting completed. That won't be a big, but that'll be a wave. But that's toward the end of next year.
And when that's done, do you feel like all new projects will be put on hold if the oil prices don't go back up?
I think so. If they're not put on hold, they're being really seriously looked at, maybe consolidated or cut back. It's got to be right now, if you're in the energy business, upstream or downstream, with the uncertainty of the prices and where it's going, you just can't make that 20, 30, 40 year, 50 year commitment to engage in a major project. Now, the good news is you were asking me before we went on the air that the price of oil hadn't come back up a little bit. And yes, here in the last month or so, we're now into the 50s.
Finally.
At least. Which a couple of 3 or 4 months ago, we were praying
And maybe that's because it's summertime. do you think?
And that's partly it. There has been a slight increase in demand. U.S. production is down a little over 1 million barrels a day, too. The rig count is down considerably. We peaked at a little over 900 rigs in Texas in the summer of 14. And here we are approaching the summer of 16, and we're down under 200.
Wow.
Close to 175.
That's a lot of jobs gone.
That reduction and the pullback, if you will, in production, the U.S. production has come down. That's one of the reasons. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons why the price has drifted up into the 50s. Demand is up. People are driving for the summer season and so forth. But it's still tenuous. It's like the person who hadn't been laid off yet. Everybody's still nervous about which way it's going to go.
What do you think is going to happen in the fall? You think oil prices will go back down, or you think they'll stay steady?
I would like to say that I think they're going to stay steady, but I'm not sure of it. And that's the problem.
Nobody's really sure what's going to happen.
We really aren't. Shannon, I've given several speeches lately, and I've been telling my audiences that we've read reports that from so-called experts in the energy field.
Yeah.
And one was predicting $20 a barrel, and one was predicting $200 a barrel. So
don't even talk about that on the air. We don't even want to say that.
Somewhere between 20 and 200.
I told you to give us good news, remember?
Think on the upside.
Think on the upside. That's right. The bad thing for consumers is that for first-time home buyers, it's getting harder to qualify, and the home prices are going up, which is going to push them out of the market. This is the best time for them to buy, and yet with all the uncertainty, it's scary for them to buy, and it's a horrible thing because in the future they may not qualify, so they need to buy now.
It really is a good time to buy for a couple of reasons. As you point out, home prices are going up. Home builders are not building at low-priced houses. All of the new homes being built are in the mid-hundreds, 200, 300, 400, and on up.
Right.
There's nothing being built really anywhere close in that's under about 250. There are some townhomes, condos that might fit into that price bracket, but not many.
Some
and even
far north suburbs, but that's not where the demand is. So
no. As you are also pointing out, it's getting tougher and tougher to qualify for the loans. And the irony there is that at the federal level, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA have been trying to make it easier. Fannie Mae has come out with a 97% loan program. FHA has cut back on some of the insurance costs and so on. So at the big level, they're trying to make it easier for first-time buyers, but the lenders themselves are actually overlaying tougher constraints because of what the regulators are doing in the back rooms of the lending institutions.
Yeah.
And so you're right, the first-time home buyers is having trouble, that millennial, early 30s, getting out and buying the first house. But it is, if you can do it, interest rates are still down and still low and are going to be that way probably for a while. And if you can get out and if home prices are increasing, you want to get it now before it goes up much more.
Right.
And it's going to go that way.
Yeah. And some sellers who had problems with appraisals years ago and prices were down, those prices have come up. So it's a good time for them to sell if they can find what they want on the buy side.
Your problem right now is finding the right property in the location with all of the whatever it is you're looking for.
Bells and whistles you want,
and be able to do it.
Let's go to break, and when we come back, I want to talk about the inventory, the amount of houses, because that, of course, has a big impact on supply and demand for housing. So we'll be right back after a little break here. We'll be right back with Dr. Jim Gaines from the Real Estate Research Center at Texas A&M University. We'll be right back.
RREA Media has an exciting new product available to companies and organizations who are teaching classes and want to offer those classes online. Introducing Easy Distance Learning. Easy Distance Learning is a video-based distance learning system that allows companies and organizations to leverage their existing classroom content into a broader reach and increased revenues. Did you know that the rate of growth of distance learning is 10 times that of classroom education? And 66% of chief academic officers think distance learning is critical to their long-term strategy. Right now, 33% of higher education students are taking at least one online class. Companies and organizations not offering a distance alternative to in-class instruction risk being left behind. Video-based distance learning has three basic components: classroom capture, post-production, and content distribution. Easy Distance Learning is a comprehensive and modular system that covers all three components that can help your organization with what you are missing in offering a quality and convenient online learning experience. You choose the parts you need help with. Easy Distance Learning offers another revenue stream, a broader reach of your existing content, and a professional presentation with a great learner experience. Contact us today for a free estimate and see how Easy Distance Learning can take your company or organization to the next level.